What if I told you that the reason you don't remember your dreams isn't chance or biology? It's a deliberate spiritual block. Something is acting on your mind right now, preventing you from seeing what is being revealed during sleep. And what's more disturbing, you may be ignoring messages that could transform your life. This video will reveal why you forget your dreams, who or what is creating this barrier, and how you can break through it to access spiritual realities beyond imagination. The answer may shake your certainties, but it could also be the key to a new phase of your inner journey. Are you ready to remember what your soul is trying to show you night after night? Are you ready to discover that your forgetfulness may actually be a protection or a prison? So, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and write in the comments, "I want to remember who I am in my dreams." This simple gesture is an energetic affirmation, a step toward your spiritual liberation. Stay until the end, because in the next few minutes you will discover ancient techniques and forgotten teachings that can open the doors to the invisible world while you sleep. Most importantly, you will understand why remembering is an act of healing and forgetting a subtle form of suffering. How many times have you woken up with that vague feeling that you dreamed but can't remember? It's as if something important is about to be revealed, but it slips away like sand through your fingers. This forgetfulness is not mere distraction, nor is it a failure of the mind. According to Buddhism and other spiritual paths, this loss of dream memory is actually a clear symptom of disconnection from your own soul. Something, inside or around you, is blocking the flow of spiritual truth that tries to emerge while you sleep. Dreams are not just creations of the unconscious mind. They are portals. What manifests there can come from much deeper places, from your energy field, from past experiences, from spiritual wisdom accumulated over lifetimes. When you forget, it is not the dream that is lost. It is the link to your essence that has been temporarily severed. This severing can happen for several reasons: spiritual fear, resistance, unresolved emotions, or even energetic presences that act as subtle veils of forgetfulness. Within the Buddhist path, it is believed that the state of sleep is an extension of the waking state of consciousness. In other words, if your consciousness is numb during the day, it will also be blank at night. Forgetting dreams is a reflection of a fragmented consciousness, one that is not accustomed to observing or listening. We sleep as we live, distracted, hurried, disconnected. And so, when we receive subtle messages during sleep, we do not have the energetic structure to hold on to them upon awakening. In addition, there is the ego factor. The ego fears what it does not control. Dreams often reveal uncomfortable truths, old wounds, inevitable changes. When something we dream threatens the structure the ego has built, whether it be a belief, an identity, or a life path, the spiritual mind creates a kind of conscious eraser to avoid confronting that revelation. Forgetting, then, is not simply a lack of memory. It's a spiritual defense mechanism. And here comes a delicate but necessary truth. In some cases, forgetting is not a mistake. It is protection. Your soul may be experiencing something so profound during sleep that your conscious mind is not yet ready to integrate it. Forgetting, in this case, acts as a buffer, spiritual safeguarding. But even so, the call continues. Every soul longs to be heard. The more you disconnect from what you experience in your dreams, the more you lose touch with your inner truth. Now imagine if you could change that. If there were simple but powerful ways to remove these blocks, reopen the channel, and begin listening once again to what your soul is trying to tell you. What if, in doing so, your dream recall became vivid, meaningful, powerful. That's what this video aims to show you. Because not remembering your dreams may seem like a small thing, but in truth, it may be preventing you from receiving the greatest spiritual gift of the night, reconnecting with your essence. If you feel like something important is happening while you sleep, but you can't access it, then this is for you. Stay with me, because we're going to explore not only why you forget your dreams, but also how to transform sleep into a bridge between the visible and invisible. Because when you remember, you awaken, even with your eyes closed. While your body rests on the mattress and your eyes are shut, something subtle but deeply real continues to happen. You may think you are simply off, but sleep is never an absence, it is a crossing. During the night, consciousness withdraws from the physical world and enters more subtle layers of reality. In this interval between worlds, the soul finds freedom. Freedom to visit other dimensions, receive messages, and often perform healings only possible when the ego is asleep. Ancient spiritual traditions regard sleep as a sacred opportunity, a moment when the spirit temporarily detaches from the physical body and plunges into broader realities, often called astral planes or parallel dimensions. In these realms, time is not linear, and the rules differ from those of the material world. Here, you can encounter beings of light, relive past situations, access guiding symbols, or simply feel the presence of something much greater than what your waking eyes can see. That strange dream, the sensation of flying, the experience of observing your own body, these are all signs that your soul is trying to show you something beyond the visible. But most of the time, we wake too quickly, pulled back into logic, letting it all slip away. The rational mind takes over, and with it, the door to deeper experiences closes. There's even a phenomenon called astral projection, which many experience without realizing. It's when the soul detaches from the body with greater awareness and travels through other vibrational realms. This isn't delusion or fantasy. It's a spiritual reality experienced across cultures, but it often occurs unconsciously, as if the spirit tries to leave, only to be pulled back by fear, inattention, or heavy energy. Have you ever felt like you were falling in a dream, or woke up suddenly for no reason? These are classic signs that your consciousness was about to expand, but got abruptly reeled in, as if your soul was whispering, "You're not ready yet." And in most cases, it's true. We're not spiritually prepared, or rather, we've never been taught to trust the invisible. And where there is fear, there is always blockage. But when you start to see sleep as a spiritual journey, everything changes. Your body may be resting, but your soul is learning, visiting, healing, and often trying to bring you answers you've been searching for, sometimes for years. These answers come in the form of symbols, sensations, or encounters. If you're not sensitive enough, all of this will be lost, and what was meant to be a sacred night becomes just another forgotten dawn. In the next few topics of this video, you'll learn how to prepare your energy field and mind to receive these experiences with greater awareness. You'll discover how to create a favorable environment, a receptive inner state, and how to wake up with vivid memory of what your soul has experienced. Because sleeping is not disconnecting, it is connecting with the part of you that never sleeps, the part that every night tries to remind you of who you truly are. While the physical body rests, your soul is not inactive. On the contrary, it is precisely at this moment that it frees itself from the limitations of matter and accesses higher planes of existence. And yes, this happens more often than you think. When you sleep, you're not just resting. You are passing through a kind of vibrational portal. On this more subtle plane, your consciousness comes into contact with purer levels of reality, where answers are clearer, symbols more intense, and wisdom more ancient. This plane is not imaginary. It is real, even more real than the objects around you. The only difference is that it vibrates at another frequency, which is why it can only be accessed when the body sleeps and the rational mind is silent. In this state, you can reconnect with spiritual guides, communicate with higher versions of yourself, or receive profound messages about decisions, cycles, or healing that need to happen. It's as if your soul climbs a few steps, and from there, sees your life with greater clarity. Many people catch glimpses of this realm, sometimes in the form of vivid dreams, symbolic encounters, unexplained voices, or sensations of being in places that don't exist here. And the feeling upon waking is strange, a mix of having experienced something important with the frustration of not being able to remember what it was. This is where the mystery lies. The question is not whether your soul went to that plane. The question is, why can't you bring those memories back? The answer lies in the misalignment between the two worlds. The physical plane, heavy, busy, noisy, does not easily sustain what has been experienced on subtle levels. When you return to your body, to time, to routine, the energy shifts abruptly. It's like trying to hold a delicate mist in your hands. What was clear falls apart. What was alive fades away. And once again, you wake up with the sense that you dreamed, but no images to hold on to. It's not that the soul didn't experience it. It's that the mind didn't know how to preserve it. This happens because, in most cases, we are not spiritually prepared to sustain the vibration of that plane upon waking. The soul accesses it, but the mind is not yet able to translate it. We are so accustomed to haste, logic, and the rigidity of wakefulness that we've forgotten how to decode symbols, feel messages, and listen to what has no voice. And when that happens, what was meant to be a revelation becomes just a confused dream. But the good news is, this can change. The ability to remember what we experience on higher planes is not a gift. It is spiritual training. And that training begins with intention. With the simple act of lying down in awareness, creating a clean space, saying a sincere prayer, or a clear affirmation. May I remember what my soul experiences. When you plant this intention with respect, the channel begins to reopen. The soul understands that it can bring messages back because someone is ready to receive them. Have you ever woken up completely exhausted, even after hours of sleep, as if you'd spent the night fighting something invisible? Or, on the contrary, have you ever woken with unusual clarity, a feeling of deep motivation, as though you received a new strength that makes you want to change everything? These feelings don't come from nowhere. They are vibrational remnants, traces of what your soul experienced while your body rested. Even if you don't remember, the impact remains. Some nights, your soul faces energetic battles, unresolved situations, karmic ties, or spiritual contacts. All of this can happen on subtle planes while you sleep, and your physical body feels it. You may wake up feeling heavy, foggy, or tired without a clear reason. This is the reflection of an intense spiritual journey, a process your consciousness couldn't translate, but your energy absorbed completely. The soul acted, but the mind did not follow. On the other hand, there are mornings when you wake up with a light heart, a clear mind, a sense of purpose that seems to come from nowhere. But it didn't come from nowhere. It came from an encounter. perhaps with a spiritual guide, a higher version of yourself, or a profound insight received on the invisible plane. Even if you don't remember it, it vibrates within you as a new direction. On those days, you feel that something has changed, and it truly has, because the soul has touched truth. These two extremes, unexplained tiredness and sudden motivation, are clear signs that what happens during sleep goes far beyond physical rest. Sleep is a transition. Even if your rational mind can't recall the details, your energy field records everything. You feel without understanding. You react without remembering. It's as if your body wakes, carrying an invisible message that shapes your mood, your choices, and your sensitivity that day. That's why we often wake up irritable, anxious, or out of tune. The soul may have encountered something important, but due to a lack of preparation or sensitivity, the mind could not absorb it. The result is noise, an uncomfortable feeling that's actually a sign. Something was left between worlds and needs to be integrated. And the more we ignore these signs, the deeper the disconnection becomes. Waking up motivated is also a call. It's not just a good morning. It's the universe saying, your soul has seen something, and now you have the energy to transform. When you feel that urge, that sudden clarity, that desire to act, listen, honor it. It's the perfect moment to break free from autopilot and do what you've been postponing. That vibration doesn't come from ego. It comes from the part of you that accessed a higher plane and returned with a message. Even if you don't yet remember the details, start paying attention to the effects. Your body speaks, your energy responds, and your awakening every day carries clues about what was experienced on the invisible planes. The next step is to learn how to prepare, tune in, and decode these experiences with greater clarity. That's exactly what we're going to cover next: how to transform the act of sleeping into a conscious spiritual practice and make room to remember, feel, and integrate. Remembering your dreams is not a matter of luck, nor a skill reserved for the gifted. In truth, spiritual memory is a direct reflection of your energy state before sleep. The problem is that almost no one treats the act of falling asleep as something sacred. We lie down tired, with our cell phones in hand, racing thoughts, accumulated emotions, and we wait for the soul to reveal something to us. But how can it do that if it hasn't been given any space to enter? It all starts with how you prepare to cross the portal of sleep. Before going to bed, it's best to create a small ritual, something simple but intentional. Turn off bright lights. Step away from screens at least half an hour before. Slow your breathing. Feel your body. Take an inner pause. These seemingly small gestures completely shift the vibrational state of your field. They send a message to the soul: I am available. I am silent. I am ready to listen. And when that message is true, the soul responds. It begins to trust the space, and spiritual memory begins to blossom. The mind, too, must be educated. A powerful practice is to repeat affirmations before sleep. Phrases such as, I am ready to remember what my soul has experienced. I receive messages from the spiritual world with clarity. I wake up with awareness and lightness. These phrases are not magic, but they are seeds. You are programming your subconscious to remain open, even during sleep. Over time, the mind stops resisting and starts to welcome. The body, in turn, must become a temple. Eat lightly at night. Keep your bedroom tidy. Use subtle scents like lavender or sandalwood. Place a crystal like amethyst near your pillow. These small actions help elevate both your body's frequency and the energy of your space. Remembering dreams requires lightness. An overloaded body cannot hold subtle messages, so physical balance is a part of the spiritual process. Another transformative practice is keeping a dream journal. Even if you wake up remembering only a fragment, write it down. It may be just a color, a word, or an emotion, but by writing it, you send a command to your brain. This is important, and your mind begins to cooperate. Little by little, you remember more. Most impressively, you start noticing patterns, symbols that repeat, lessons that cycle. It's like assembling a puzzle of the soul. The key to all of this is consistency. None of it works if done once a week without presence. Remembering dreams is a relationship with the invisible world, and that relationship needs care, repetition, and sincerity. The more you honor this process, the more it reveals itself. Then one night, you awaken with a vivid, powerful memory. You realize it wasn't just a dream, it was an encounter with something greater, and that is the beginning of your transformation. Because when you start remembering your dreams, you also start remembering who you are. Memories aren't just about images. They carry truths, paths, and dormant parts of yourself, waiting to be reawakened. Some dreams come to you, while others you can consciously enter. This is what we call lucid dreaming, a state where you are asleep, but aware that you are dreaming. More than that, you can act, choose, and interact. In lucid dreaming, the dream stops being a passive message and becomes a realm of learning, healing, and discovery. The soul awakens within the invisible for a few sacred moments. Many people believe this kind of dream is rare or unreachable, but that's not true. Lucid dreaming can be cultivated through simple practices, done with intention and regularity. One of the first steps is awareness. Train your mind while awake to ask, "Am I dreaming right now?" It may seem odd, but this habit will carry into your dreams. At some point, the question will arise while you're asleep, and at that moment, you'll wake up inside the dream. Another essential element is maintaining a high vibrational state before bed. Lucid dreaming isn't about controlling the dream through ego. It's about opening to the soul. It's not about commanding the dream world, but becoming conscious within it. Emotional lightness, gratitude, and inner peace are the fuel for achieving this state. The calmer your energy, the clearer the experience becomes. You can also use signs within the dream to recognize its nature. Try noticing details, text that changes when reread, mirrors that reflect unusual images. Practice noticing such signs while awake, and soon they'll appear in dreams. When you notice the inconsistency, your consciousness will spark. What was once symbolic becomes real. Lucid dreaming isn't just about exploring landscapes. It's about meeting guides, accessing forgotten memories, healing old wounds, and speaking with unrevealed parts of yourself. It's the bridge between waking consciousness and deep unconsciousness. And when you cross it, you often wake up feeling like something real happened, because it did. This kind of experience requires spiritual courage. In lucid dreams, you face a symbolic universe that mirrors your real energy. Everything you see is a reflection of you, even the things that scare you. That's why lucid dreaming isn't always beautiful. It can be intense, revealing, even unsettling. But its power lies precisely in that intensity. What challenges you is what you need to see. Living a lucid dream is remembering that reality is much broader than what your physical eyes can perceive. It's a call to wake up, not just at night, but in life. Because if you can awaken inside a dream, you can also awaken inside patterns, emotions, and choices that no longer serve you. Lucidity doesn't begin in dreams. It begins with the decision to see. Remembering your dreams isn't some mystical curiosity. It's one of the deepest paths to self-knowledge and spiritual reconnection. When you begin to clearly access what happens on subtle planes at night, your perception of reality is transformed. Dreams are recognized for what they truly are: symbolic encounters with forgotten aspects of yourself and with presences that guide you beyond matter. Many people, as they begin to remember more clearly, report encounters with departed loved ones, not distorted emotional memories, but real reunions, full of love, messages, and comfort. These are not inventions of the mind. They are spiritual bonds still alive. The soul recognizes the soul, even when the body is gone. Such reunions bring healing, where before there was only silence. Others encounter beings of light, figures without a defined face, radiating wisdom, peace, and steadfastness. These are spiritual guides, mentors that accompany your soul even when you don't notice. In dreams, they may appear to protect, to guide, or simply to whisper, "You are not alone." Sometimes a single phrase from a guide is enough to shift your entire life perspective upon waking. It's the right advice at the right moment, from a dimension that sees more than we do. It's also common to relive childhood memories, old emotions, or unresolved conversations in dreams. These aren't repetitions, they're reconciliations. The soul revisits them to organize the emotional field, to clear the invisible weight that prevents lightness in life. Spiritually remembered dreams also carry coded messages about your present moment, repeating symbols, archetypes, or scenarios, reflecting your current challenges. If you learn to decode them, you receive guidance for decisions, clarity in relationships, and insights for necessary changes. The dream becomes a compass. The night becomes a map. Gradually, remembering dreams in depth changes your relationship with the invisible. Life becomes more sacred. Intuition sharpens. Presence deepens. The illusion of isolation fades as you sense the real connection between worlds, a connection reawakened every night. Remembering your dreams is remembering that you are on a journey, that there is more, that there are loving eyes watching you, even when you forget who you are. In your dreams lies a living library of guidance, reunions, and revelations, tailored just for you. And when that memory awakens, everything begins to change. If you've read this far, it's because something inside you is already awakening. You may not realize it yet, but this desire to remember is your soul calling you back to yourself. Life has been moving fast. You've been seeking answers, but maybe they've been arriving night after night. All that was missing was one detail: remembering. Now you know. Forgetting dreams isn't natural. Every night your soul moves, learns, and tries to show you what you're ready to see. Remembering is just the beginning. The real transformation starts when you embrace what's been revealed. So from today onward, treat sleep as sacred. Disconnect with intention. Breathe with presence. Speak to your soul, even in silence. It's listening. It always has been. And if you do this consistently, you'll begin to see that dreams aren't just messages. They're paths, portals, and pieces of you returning home. When the messages come, honor them. Write them. Reflect on them. Share them with those who know how to listen. Because each dream you remember is a piece of your soul being reintegrated. Each insight is a compass guiding you back to truth. And there is nothing more sacred than that. If this message touched you, help keep the energy alive. Like this message, not as an automatic gesture, but as a sign that you've received this call. Subscribe to this journey. And if you feel ready, say it aloud or write it below. I am ready to remember who I am. This is not just a phrase. It's a spiritual contract. Remember, no one awakens by chance. If you're here, it's because something inside you already knows. There is so much more to live, even while you sleep. You are not alone. Others are awakening too. And together, we can walk forward with more clarity, more awareness, and more soul. Until next time.